Good morning, everyone. My name is Matt Smith, and today we're going to talk about logos, we're going to talk about design, and we're going to do it in a very different way. A lot of times when people talk about design and logos of companies, it usually goes like this. I have a company, I like my logo. Or there are companies that I do like and admire, and I've come to grow to love that logo, and that's the way I'm going to see the world. I'm going to judge it, based on my taste, based on my likes. This is one way to do it. People do it all the time. I think a more interesting discussion is when you look at small companies and large companies, look at the problems that they have, whether it's with, communicating who they are or positioning themselves well in the market. And then to see if their logo, their branding that was created for them actually solves those problems. Does it make them look better, or is it just kind of an extension of the average? So we're going to do it today in a few different examples. We're going to move quickly, and I hope this is going to be fun for you because I love this stuff. Let's get started. Company number one, DoorDash. Now, what do we know about DoorDash? They've become a lot more popular amidst the COVID-19 pandemic because they let you get food from your favorite restaurants wherever they are, and it's brought to your house, right to your door. Everybody loves it. Now, let's talk about branding DoorDash. When they're considering, hey, I got this idea, I want to provide this service for people through an app, it's going to help drivers get paid some money. Everyone's going to win in this situation, right? So when they met with the marketing design firm, what were the questions that they had to talk through? First of all, what are the biggest obstacles for people using this service? Number one, is it going to be fast? Like, nobody wants to order food. It takes an hour to get there, 2 hours. People don't like that, especially if it's hot food and you want it delivered to your house, to your door, nice and hot. Number two is this a classy service? Like, nothing's more awkward than a big burly dude showing up in a rusted out car saying, hey lady, here's your burgers. No one wants that. So I believe, this is just me guessing, that when they had to design the DoorDash logo, they said it needs to look fast and it needs to look classy. So how do you accomplish each of those? Number one, fast. Typically, if you're looking to add speed to a logo, to your word mark, it usually happens when you lean your letters forward or backwards. So in the case of most sports teams, they tend to lean forward like you're leaning forward at the starting line of the big race. If you look at all basketball uniforms, maybe not so much baseball teams, but a lot of the baseball logos you see on the caps, they tend to have an aggression towards them. In stock car racing, IndyCar racing, you see the same thing. Very rarely do you see words written upright. They're usually leaning as if they're being blown in the wind by the fastness of the car. That's how you add speed to a logo. I've done it many times with a lot of logos we've created. However, DoorDash went in a different direction. What they chose is the words door and dash to be very upright, which coincidentally makes them look pretty classy. They got some really nice letter spacing, but they chose to add speed in an unconventional way. Now, they took the D, so we're going to talk about alliteration. Door begins with D, dash begins with D. The D is a primary brand recognition point for DoorDash. So they took the D and they asked the question, how do we add speed to the letter D? Now, every character, every letter in our 26-letter alphabet has a personality. The uppercase has a personality, the lowercase has a personality. We know this because the lowercase e is like a cute little smiling guy. We like the lowercase e. The I looks a lot like us. It's got a little head and a little body. It's adorable. It's like this kind of Pixar thing that we have going on. Now, with the uppercase D, this is super tragic because it looks like a big bellied man. Like, the D doesn't look speedy at all. But if you look at the upright part of the DoorDash D, you can see they've added some speed. They've given it some wings. They've given it some momentum. So if you just look at their logo mark, which is that D that's got some speed to it, that communicates to you, this is fast. Now, by itself, it's not going to do it. But what did they do to add on top of that? Well, they chose the primary colors of white, red, and black. And historically, we've associated red with speed, so fast sports cars. There's a reason why the dude, the little car in the Pixar movie Cars is red. Red communicates speed, but red also entices the appetite. So you'll notice in a lot of fast food restaurants, they use the color red everywhere. Like, no one uses red in interior design, but in fast food restaurants, you better believe that they use red. So it's an awesome color to accomplish what DoorDash is trying to do. Remind people that they're hungry and let people know that it's going to get there speedy. Okay, now let's talk about the second problem they had to solve, which is classy. How do we make this look classy? Now, earlier I talked about letter spacing. If you go to their app, if you go to their website, you'll notice that it just does not look junky. They took every opportunity to make things look tailored and classy, and they just made it look good. Now, what is a way that this could have gone wrong? Okay, let's just talk about that. Someone could raise their hand in the boardroom and say, hey, this is great. I'm happy to be an investor. I'm a founding CTO or whatever. We have to communicate food. People need to know. When I tell people I started this company, DoorDash, they don't know that it's about food. So, you can see a designer kind of folding in this and be like, okay, well, let's have like a plate of food with wheels or a fork with wheels. This happens all the time. This happens all the time when branding a company. We take it too literally, or we make it too on the nose. We make it just so super obvious what this is all about that we lose a little bit of the magic, and ultimately becomes corny, becomes cheesy and unbearable. So you please everybody and you get nowhere. So that's the story of DoorDash. Check them out. I'm glad they're around, and I love their logo. And quite frankly, if I have to pick between Uber and DoorDash, I'm probably going to not go with Uber Eats and go with DoorDash. Why? Because I like your logo more. And that's just how shallow I am.
Your favorite restaurants now deliver with DoorDash. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what you're hungry for. It doesn't even matter how many you are. Restaurants come to you. Delicious at your door. Download DoorDash.